Hey guys, Figure Therapy here today, and we're going to be checking out this very large and in charge Beatless statue from Good Smile Company. So, I guess I should get the name right, but it's basically the 1/8 scale Lacia 2018 Black Monolith deployed version. So, this I feel like will probably be the last Beatless related statue that will come out because the anime didn't really do that great. but the idea is very well known, I guess, in a sense. Like I actually did a review on the 2011 Lacia, which was from a long time ago. So this is kind of like a second chance at another character, which is more updated. So why is it like 2018? What's the significance behind 2018? 2018 is basically the year that the Beatless anime came out, and the original source material dated back to 2011, which is why there's the 2011 Black Monolith version. But this one is obviously the newer, more updated design. There are some small differences. It's mostly around her skirting, which I will show later because I do still have my 2011 one. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. So the box design is similar to that of Good Smile's like Wonderful Hobby stuff, where it's a big like nice box. There's no window. It almost opens up like a loot crate situation going on. It's very hard to keep everything in frame because it's so huge. But I guess I'll just freehand this. But yeah, so it's a very big box. Some nice foil lettering going on there. Some information along the back. There's the entire Black Monolith deployed. There's a lot of product information, some product shots. A very nice picture of her from the top. And then here, a nice little product shot right there. And let's go ahead and see if we can flip the box down. Oh, absolutely beautiful box on the bottom. Nice product shots. So from here, it's actually probably the best way to open it. But this is where it's going to get a little sketchy. But yeah, so here there's this little tab. And let me see if I can go ahead and cut the tape. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about overall general stats of this figure. So this figure has probably been one of the more delayed figures of 2021, being that it was actually supposed to come out a little, or actually I won't say it was supposed to, but I saw KOs of this figure way before this thing was actually released. So that was always cracking me up because I was like, I pre-ordered this figure, and I was like looking at other places, and I'm like, why are there knockoffs of it already so fast? So it's like the knockoffs existed way before the actual figure existed. But apparently it came out in April of this year, so 2021, for a list price of around like 18,000 yen. Yeah, 18,333 yen. So around like $190, which is not too bad. Luckily, as of this video, it hasn't really changed in price. It's staying steady at around 180, 190, which is cool. This is a very big box, so I definitely feel like you do know what you're getting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. Ooh, yeah. So definitely in the same like Wonderful Hobby fashion. There's a lot of stuff to go into, so let's not waste any more time and let's just jump right into it. But yeah, so it's around that price. What's interesting is there is actually another version of this figure which does not include the Black Monolith and is $80 less at around like 10,000 yen. Sorry, this box is huge and it's also kind of getting in the way. But yeah, I'll take a quick look inside the box. There's this cool like techno sort of thing going on there, but that's neat. So getting everything out. But yeah, like I was saying, there is a cheaper alternative for those of you who don't want the Black Monolith or are short on space. But I feel like if you're gonna go for a Redjuice statue, so Redjuice being the illustrator who did Beatless as well as Guilty Crown and who does like the Egoist stuff. But if you're gonna go like with Redjuice stuff, his stuff is super crazy and like very like future flowery sort of thing. So I definitely think that you might as well just go all out and get something big. So let's go ahead and pop it open. Some really solid plastic clasps that kind of are in here, so it almost sounds like I'm exploding the packaging. It's actually kind of scary to do, so I'll go ahead and just take it out in parts and see how that goes first. Oh, okay, that has ended my assault on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and take out. Oh, wow, it's really pretty. But yeah, so far, what's cool about Lacia, the character design, is there's a good mix of like matte and gloss materials on her body, because she's a robot basically. She's an AI. But yeah, so it's very clear. What's cool is there's like some matte detail in her knee area, so it's almost like, you know, underneath there's like another layer of skin. And then her shoes are cool as well. And like I was saying, the main difference in the newer Lacia design is this skirting armor is basically entirely different. It doesn't really come off. But yeah, let me see if I can take. Okay, I think I might be. Oh, there we go. All right, decapitated. So, yeah. What's definitely cool is that the shading is really solid. So, really nice deep blue here, shading or going into that really nice like light azure that she is known for. So, yeah, really pretty stuff. I would say that so far this statue is pretty nice. Honestly, this kind of does mean that if you do want to just get the non-black monolith version, it would look pretty nice on your shelf as well. But I'll show you in a second why that's kind of weird. Let me see if I can just get this off. So it seems like, okay, there we go. So the skirt can come off. It's very fragile. I would not recommend messing with it at all. Be very careful. So yeah, there's that. Let's go ahead and put her to the side for now, because let's see if we can figure out this whole mess first. So being very careful with her. And then here is the black monolith. So in the anime, the black monolith is this crazy weapon that is basically has different forms, and then it looks like a coffin, which is why it's called the monolith. And it's just this big like square, but then it transforms into this thing at the end. And then yeah, I guess that's a minor spoiler, but you know, this figure itself deployed obviously is a spoiler to what it eventually does. But yeah, let's go ahead and pop out all the other parts. So in the context of the anime, Lacia is one of four sisters. There are other ones like Snowdrop and Kyoka, and I forget what the last one is named, but they all have different types of warfare, because they're all like AI warfare related people, like drones, I guess. But yeah, so like Lacia is the one that specializes in like technical warfare, meaning that she's probably the strongest out of all of them, but she is much more like an active AI learner, so that's kind of why she hasn't like destroyed everything. But yeah, so that's interesting. But at the same time, it also makes for a really like dull story point, because like she rarely, or I guess, all right, so spoilers ahead, she doesn't really do anything in the anime. Like I realistically thinking back very fondly, the most like notable thing that happened was when Kyoka decided that she would no longer like follow her programming, and then like died. But yeah, but Lacia herself, she's really just eye candy. Like, to be totally honest, she's one of the prettiest like things I've seen in a while in terms of character design, at least in the time frame of 2018. But like ultimately, she doesn't have a lot going for her, which is why I feel like not a lot of people liked her, as opposed to like Inori, where she was in a really good story and she met her end tragically, whereas Lacia is still alive, and they made a big deal out of her dying and like her losing her memory and everything, but then it's like at the end she just pops back up again. She's like, oh yeah, I'm alive, but now I'm just a normal AI. So it's like, oh, okay. And also like the MC in that anime was super weird. Like he was like kind of like a nothing burger. But yeah, enough of that rant. But that aside, the anime is really pretty though. All the character designs are really cool. I highly recommend you look into it, because I really like Kyoka. I really hoped that they would do Kyoka one day, because she's like a red version of Lacia, and she's like very wild in design. And instead of like the monolith is kind of like a digital weapon, Kyoka has like a railgun, and it's like this big railgun. So yeah, let's go ahead and see how much we can piece together of this black monolith. So far we have this really nice base, which is very technical, very geometrical sort of deal here. Every time you shine it, it does bounce off this crazy lights over there. So pretty nice. So there's that. Let's see if we can guess the instructions. So you get a bunch of these attachments, which are really nice looking. There is really, you know what? Oh shoot, I almost thought I messed up because on the blister itself, there's like these numbers across the side, and I thought, oh shoot, did I just totally botch it? But then there's numbers on the bottom of these little things, so I think that will actually help me in my figuring out of how to do this. So as far as I can tell, these pieces, which are the satellite pieces of the black monolith, don't really have any particular way of going in. So meaning that they are all the same piece, so you don't really have to worry about messing that up. But all of these pieces have a particular way to go into the stand, which is where this English and Japanese instructions come in great handy. So you can go ahead and line that up, and then go ahead and take a look at all the funny stuff going on. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to cut and paste another part where I just put everything in together. So BRB. Okay, so after fiddling around with her for a while, it was actually pretty painless, to be honest. What's cool, and I totally give Good Smile props for this, is that they have the number both on the piece itself and on the base, so you can actually pair it up pretty quickly. You don't really need the instructions. Of course, it's always good to read the instructions, you know, just in case. But before I go super deep dive into it, here's a quick look at the panels. I feel like I didn't take a closer look at it enough earlier. There's a cool, like, kind of like satellite thing going on here. And then there are shading on the panel, so there's like a cool, the main color is like almost this really dark metallic blue. Not super metallic, but you can kind of see how it goes light over here and then dark back over here, and then back over here it's all dark. So it's really nice. I really think each panel was done very well, very meticulously, and you can kind of see how it forms like the monolith by like putting it up next to the monolith. It fits in certain slots and it becomes this big like square. But what's also cool, it slides in fairly easily. There's these rails that line the bottom. Now, first off, one thing that kind of caught me off guard was the general shape of the statue. Like, you'd think that how the base is shaped, that she would be like at this end, like right here, but instead she's kind of in like a weird like C formation in the middle. But nonetheless, it's actually really nice. I feel like I also didn't take a closer look at the monolith itself, because there is a lot of really cool stuff going on here. So check this out. Look at that blue crystal in the middle. Now, that crystal is actually not translucent, but it's just really nicely painted. And also this nice little energy building up right here. It's very Halo-like almost. So yeah, there's a lot of great paint apps on this, just this piece alone, which I do think makes it worth that additional like $80 that you'd have to spend to complete the look. But yeah, and this looks crazy sharp. It's not actually sharp though, but yeah, it looks really nice. There's no paint mess ups at all. I definitely do think this is kind of like where the KO versus authentic argument would come in great handy, because, you know, obviously a KO of this would look 10 times like less nice. But of course, I can't say anything about that. But yeah, so what's cool is the panels are kind of in this big like C formation, and she is just kind of floating there with this black pedestal as part of her stand. Now what's cool is it does come with this, which is the additional base needed to put her there alone without any of the black monolith parts. So that's actually pretty nice that you kind of get the best of both worlds there. And then like I said earlier, so having her alone would look kind of weird because it's almost like she's about to grasp something that's not there, but in this case she is grasping the black monolith, so that's actually really nice. But yeah, what's also weird is it's kind of jiggly, but I just think that over time the base itself will just settle and become flat if you put it on a nice flat surface. But as of right now, it's kind of out of the box. It does feel a little bit jiggly, which is kind of bad. Also, one minor thing was that trying to get the actual figure to peg into the stand was kind of a nightmare. It's really tight, and I would highly recommend being careful about that, especially since you know, if you break something here, it's bad, and you break something here, it's even worse. But it's more fixable if it's here. But basically, I just took the little black piece off the stand, and then I did it ahead of time because it's much easier to put the black piece into the stand than to put Lacia into that black piece, which is already on the stand. But yeah, just taking a quick look at it, it's really pretty. It's funny because earlier I was bagging on Beatless, but then like as I was like putting this together, I was listening to the opening, which is probably one of my favorite openings in all of anime history because Gardenelia does it, and it's a really well choreographed opening, and I highly recommend everyone watch it. But yeah, and I was like, oh man, I totally remember that this anime was actually pretty cool in terms of like hype. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this. I don't know what else to say about this other than that it's a really pretty figure. But before I go, let's go ahead and bring in all the Redjuice premium statues, I guess. So going back to the very beginning with the OG, here we have Good Smile's Inori Yuzuriha from Guilty Crown, and they do look really nice together. Of course, Redjuice style has kind of changed over the years, but the common design cues are still there. And then going back to its original source date, here we have the 2011 Lacia with the other, or the Monolith in its other form. So let's just take Inori out there. But yeah, so having these two together is like a nightmare of space because they're both absolutely huge. So I definitely do think it's more of a, if you guys have a long like white shelf in the middle of your room and then you put like 4 statues on it, these are definitely like the 2 of the 4 that you would put on there and give them ample room to breathe. But yeah, so the 2 together, like this one definitely feels like an older statue just by how it's made. But I do like that there's a lot of more matte parts on here, so it does feel a lot cooler. This one, I think, it also is in a different scale, so this one I think is 1/8. Let me check the box really quick. So yeah, this is 1/8, but this feels more like, I think this was 1/8 as well, but this one definitely feels much more like a 1/9 or 1/10, or yeah, 1/9 or 1/10, because it does look a lot smaller. But she is a lot larger, definitely in proportions as well. So it definitely does feel like they definitely came from 2 different eras, and this little hand thing came off. But yeah, both are very pretty, and I think they both look really nice together. This one, the deployed one, has a much better glow about it, and it definitely gets your attention more just because of how much paint apps is going on and just how blooming it looks. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, you guys can skip towards the end of any of my reviews, or my more modern reviews, and just see a quick reel at the end of the figure itself, just if you just want to see how it looks aesthetically. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for sticking on this long. I know this one was a long one, but she is definitely worth it. And I'll see you guys next time.
光に光をまとうその手は